Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode from Your Own Pathway. For those who don't know me, my name is Paia. I'm a trained psychotherapist turned empowerment life coach and organizational leadership consultant, where I bring my experience, my skills, and my expertise to empower all of you to forge your own path and to own it. So I hope you all have had a wonderful week. And you know what? I took some time off last week to really rest and allow myself to be. So it is so nice to be back. And this week, we're going to get real and we're going to get right to it. So, you know what? The honest truth is, when you forge your own path and you own it, the truth and the sad truth is, not everybody is going to like the fact that you are forging your own path and you own it. And let's be honest, sometimes your leveling up triggers a lot of jealousy, and often, more than not, it is the people closest to you who are jealous about your leveling up, your forging your own path, and you owning that path. So, let's get right into this week's episode. So, why does your leveling up trigger people's insecurities, their jealousies, and all the negative behaviors or feelings that you thought that, you know what, I'm happy for you. Why can't you be happy for me? And honestly, we say this all the time in therapy. It is not you, it is them. And so let's talk about this. You ever notice that when you start leveling up, the moment you start leveling up, not just in external ways, but in internal ways. And that means like your inner peace, your boundaries, your alignment. Suddenly, some people start acting weird. Yes, you're probably like, yeah, Paya. Yes, exactly. Why is that? And sometimes these people go silent. They throw shade, and worse, they try to make you feel guilty and shame you for growing. And sometimes, you know what they do? They will bring up the past, what you did in the past, but how you used to be a certain way to make them feel better. Notice I said to make them feel better. Let me tell you something. It's not about you. It's about your growth, what your growth is revealing to them. That's right. I said it. It's about your growth and what your growth is revealing to them. Here's the honest truth, y'all. When you evolve, you become a mirror. Your peace, your alignment, your bold decisions, they reflect back to others what they haven't done yet. And honest truth, not everybody's ready to face that fact. Some people liked you better when you were playing small, when you were overgiving, and when you were doubting yourself. Because your evolution challenges the status quo. It forces people to ask themselves, why haven't I changed? Or why am I still stuck? And that can feel very, very threatening. Your success makes others uneasy. It's a reality that a lot of us face. When you start achieving your goals, you'll notice a change in how people around you react. Some will celebrate with you, but others will feel threatened. This threat often comes in the form of jealousy, envy, and at times bitterness. I'm sure all of you are thinking, oh my gosh, I know someone like this, or I know a few people like this who are around me. These feelings are often a common response when one person rises in success. And when I say success, I just don't mean like the big houses, the expensive cars, the fancy vacations, or the hot new boyfriend, girlfriend, or spouse, or whatever you identify with. I'm also talking and I'm emphasizing the internal success too. And it's essential to understand why it happens. Because here's what I want you to know: just because your growth triggers someone else's insecurity or insecurities, it doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong. It means that you're finally doing something right. So let's get right to it. Why are people hating your growth? Number one, your growth reminds others of their stagnation. When you break out of old patterns, you reflect the risks others were too afraid to take. And not everyone is ready to face that mirror. Number two, you no longer fit into the version that they preferred. Some people loved the smaller version of you, the one who didn't make them feel uncomfortable. Because now your expansion threatens the dynamic that they counted and relied on. You made them feel uncomfortable by being small. So that's number two. Number three, you challenge the unspoken rules. The rules are: stay in your lane, don't shine too brightly, be humble. When you choose visibility, power, and purpose, you are rewriting the rules. And honestly, that scares a lot of people when you challenge the status quo and you challenge the unspoken rules. Number four is, you may not realize this, but jealousy is often grief in disguise. Sometimes it's not hate, it's not intentional hate. It's often grief and heartache and heartbreak. Others may grieve that they didn't make the same choices that you did. And you know what? That's not on you to carry, that's on them to work through. So, number four is, jealousy is often disguised as grief. Number five is, your confidence exposes their insecurities. When you stop shrinking, when you stop allowing something small, it highlights who still is. Oof, oof, I know. And rather than rising with you, some people would rather resent you, because you know what? Resenting is a lot easier than rising. And people choose to resent than rise and work on their insecurities. So that's number five. Number six, some people only supported you when you were struggling. Like the trauma bond, the struggle bus. A lot of people relate to struggle versus thriving, unfortunately. And when you, when they only supported you when you were struggling, watch who claps when you're actually healing instead of struggling, and who disappears when you're thriving. Oof. I know I told you today that we're going to be real, raw, and honest about this. Number seven is, your energy no longer is accessible. When you've leveled up internally, externally, you have your boundaries, you're very protective about your time, and you have your values, people who once had access to you now feel rejected. Because again, you are no longer convenient for them. And when you are no longer convenient for them, they get angry, resentful, and jealous. And so your energy is no longer accessible. You are no longer cheap. And you realize, you know what? I'm expensive. And not everybody gets access to me. Okay? And keep it that way. Number eight is, people often confused proximity with entitlement. And so just because they know the old you, that does not mean that they're entitled to the new you, to your new book. Notice I said book, not chapter. For me, I feel like chapters, there's always the option to go back. And when you have a new book, when you're on a new book, you're in life, you're done with that old book. You're done with it. You don't go back to the old people. You don't go back to the old situations. You're on your new book. So chapters, you can easily go back to the chapter. But for a book, nope. You leave all that stuff behind and you're forging your own path and you're owning it. So that's number 8. Number 9, some people want you to win, but just not more than them. Okay. You can win, but you cannot win more than they do. And some people like to be ahead. So when you rise and you level up, you do what it is that you want to do, your rise disrupts their hierarchy that they secretly clung to or put you in. Okay. Number 10 is your path, the path that you chose, shows and it is proof that the impossible is fucking possible. How many of us grew up, oh, that's not impossible? I've heard that so many times as I decided to go on this journey. That they're like, oh, Paya, that's impossible. You should be careful. That doesn't happen for people like us. It happens to other people. And so they're gonna try to dissuade you. And when you make it internally, externally, whatever it is that you are doing, and you make it happen, you showed everybody you showed, and not in an egotistic way, but you showed that anything is possible, that the impossible is indeed possible. And if you can do it, they are asking themselves, well, why haven't I? So, those are 10 things that people may feel when you are leveling up and you are forging your own path and you're owning it. So, I know that list was extensive, but you know what? Remember, that is other people, what they're feeling and what they're doing and their insecurities and their jealousies and their triggers. It is not your responsibility. And quite frankly, it is none of your business on how they feel about you. So, what can you do when you feel other people's jealousy, their distance, their resentment, or their bitterness creeping in? Number 1 is stay grounded to your why. You're not growing for applause. And if you are, you know, I'm not here to judge you. And if you are growing for applause, okay, that's each to their own. And yet, I would also say, why is it that you are looking for the applause for your growth? So stay grounded. You're growing for alignment, and a lot of people don't understand alignment. Return to your purpose when the noise gets loud. Always go back to your why. I have gone back to my why so many times when things have not worked out the way that I wanted it to, or it is not going as fast as I had hoped to. I always go back to my why, and my why always gives me clarification to forge my path and to own it. So, number 1, stay grounded to your why. Number 2, release the need for approval. Now, I know this is hard, especially for my people pleasing people out there. And I'm going to admit, I definitely have people pleasing tendencies also. And that's something that I continue to work on every day. Not everyone is meant to come with you. Okay. Not everybody is meant to come with you on this journey of leveling up, of finding alignment, of peace, whatever it is that you are looking for. And you don't owe them access to every version of you. Again, you don't owe them access to every version of you. Not everybody has access to you. So release the need for approval. Number three is, I know this one is hard and it's hard to do at first, but don't internalize their projections. I know that is very hard, especially if you are a person who tends to take everybody's feedback and rejection very personally. One of the things that you're going to have to really learn when you forge your own path and you own it is to not internalize people's projections. Their judgments is about their discomfort, not your decisions, and set the boundary, not the burden. Okay. Set your boundaries. You're going to need so much boundaries when you forge your own path and you own it. And that's one of my first foundations that I always talk about. Boundaries is the most important foundation, and that's part of not internalizing other people's projections. Moving on, number four is surround yourself with people who clap when you win. And you know what? Through my journey, I found that it's actually strangers who tend to clap for me more than some people who are closest to me. And so, in doing this, you may or have to seek out community, outside community that really celebrates your growth and not punishes it. Energy does matter. Your energy is everything. So, surround yourself with people who clap when you win. Number five, there are days when you do this and you're going to question, is this worth it? What am I doing? Is this worth it? What am I doing? You have to keep showing up for yourself. The more you live your truth unapologetically, the more you give others permission to do the same. Even the ones who don't know how to handle it yet. So keep showing up. It is such a mindset to keep showing up. It is all about your mindset. It is so easy to quit and say, you know what, I'm not going to do this anymore. But your mindset is everything. And when you keep showing up, you are going to live in your truth even more. So that's number five. And that's a list of why people are triggered when you are leveling up and how to handle the hate when you level up. So that is a list of why people hate your glow up and what can you do about the jealousy, the bitterness, the anger, all those negative emotions that quite frankly is none of your business and it's not your burden to handle. That is for the other people or persons or whoever it is, that is their shit that they have to deal with. Remember, you were meant to shrink to make others feel safe. You were meant to shine so others remember what is possible. Keep forging your own path, keep owning it, keep becoming. And by shrinking yourself, honestly, that won't make them feel more whole. Because every step that you take toward your truth, toward the freedom, someone else is still too afraid to claim and live. Remember, you don't need a permission slip for your bonus. So, what do you need? What do you need? What you need to do is you need to keep glowing. You need to protect your peace. Don't shrink to soothe. And lastly, remember, you don't need permission to evolve. I'll say it again. You do not need permission to evolve. You didn't level up to stay small, my dear. So, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this episode and you know what? Keep forging, keep owning it. People are always going to hate. And you know what? That's not your problem. That is not your problem. You keep doing you, you keep living, and you keep owning your path and forging it. So that is all I have for today. And if you like this episode, hit the like button. And if you're new to my channel, hit the subscribe button. But otherwise, that is all I have for you all this week. And everybody, take care, stay safe, and stay healthy.